Next, Brother Heber will share a very wonderful testimony. This testimony is on May the 6th, 2024. A testimony from that evening. At that time, Brother Heber spoke a prophecy of truth, and many people were paying attention, saying, Brother Heber said, Putin would pass away on May the 7th. Brother Heber prophesied that on May the 7th, 2024, Putin would, at the inauguration, die on that day. And so, many people were following this closely. There were also many brothers and sisters who, one after another, sent all kinds of news to tell many people. Right at this time, everyone was very concerned about whether tomorrow Putin would indeed, according to Brother Heber's prophecy, die. Many people cared about this matter. On that very night, a sister received a beautiful experience. She prayed about this, saying, Heavenly Father, please Father, let Brother Heber's prophecy come to pass, so that all children may know that Brother Heber is the servant you sent, is your son, is your prophet, so that this prophecy may be fulfilled, so that all children may believe Brother Heber, believe your son. And so, this sister prayed until midnight. She couldn't help but laugh. It was a very wonderful kind of laughter. She laughed very loudly, very exaggeratedly, laughing uncontrollably, unable to stop. And then, the little cat in her house even felt, hey, why is owner laughing so strangely? Laughing so much. Laughing for so long. She laughed for a long time. I heard that night. She laughed in 3 waves, laughing very intensely 3 times. Uncontrollably laughing, no matter what. Why would she laugh? It was because she prayed for Brother Heber, asking for this prophecy to come true. But she didn't know for what reason. She kept laughing. After laughing 1 wave, then she continued to laugh again. I don't know how long each wave was. Let's ask Sister Zhao Huan. Sister Zhao Huan, at that time, on May the 6th, 2024. That night, Sister was praying. That was early morning on May the 7th. That day, Sister prayed until midnight, laughing, and in total I heard, she laughed for 3 waves. Yes, then the duration of each wave of laughter. About how long was it? 2 or 3 minutes. Each wave was 2 or 3 minutes. Each wave, laughing and laughing for 2 or 3 minutes. It turned out after a while. And in another wave, laughing and laughing, and after a while, another wave of laughing, and then, the sister wanted to keep laughing. Brother Heber said, I heard that. The sister immediately prayed, asking Heavenly Father, Father, the child's laughing is already enough. Please, Father, let the child stop. Enough. And then, the laughing stopped. Right, yes. It's really wonderful. So why did the sister laugh? It is because of a reason. Regarding this prophecy, President Putin's death. This prophecy will be fulfilled, and Heavenly Father will make it happen, causing Russia to split. And so, Sister Zhao Huan didn't know why she laughed so hard. It is because Father has quietly destined and has a beautiful plan for her, that she will become the spiritual kingdom of Israel's mother of the nation. So the mother of the nation laughing so happily is because the enemy's nation is going to split, which is the nation of Russia is going to split. And in the future, Russia will become a weak nation, becoming a nation that is half strong and half weak. When it becomes a half strong, half weak nation, the kingdom of Israel will have already become a great and powerful nation. When the spiritual kingdom of Israel becomes a great and powerful nation, then although the 10-horned beast is powerful, but although it kills God's children, but it won't kill too many, beyond our imagination. Of course, it will kill many, but it is a half-strong, half-weak nation. If it were in a very strong position, we would be almost completely wiped out. But Father makes Russia split. After the split, the alliance many years later. At the time of the alliance, it had been split for 10 years. 10 years of civil war, the Russian Civil War. There was a Southern Russia and Northern Russia war. The 10 years of civil war made the entire Russia become an extremely weak nation. But after 10 years, there was a very powerful monarch who was in Northern Russia. This one after the split. Northern Russia. There was a monarch. This monarch, called the man of great sin, called the great evil one, that monarch was very powerful. So he took the split Russia, split for nearly 10 years, and allied it again. allied it, preparing 10 nations to ally and become the nation of the 10-horned beast. So, although they allied, but after all, Russia, it has already consumed a lot. So, he did not have such great power and became the kingdom of the 10-horned beast, although he was strongly attacking God's people. But at that time, he did attack. But after all, he was becoming a partly strong and partly weak kingdom, no longer strong. So, although many of us were killed, but not to the extent, so many that it's impossible, to the point of national destruction, it wouldn't go that far. For this reason, so just now, we mentioned Sister Zhao Huan's beautiful testimony, which tells that Putin has indeed passed away, already dead. So what will happen next? Appear. Russia will split into 10 countries. Split into more than 10 countries. After 10 years, Russia will form alliances again. When forming alliances, he will attack God's people. But before forming alliances, Russia in the north, North Russia is the kingdom of the king of the north, will attack God's people. But what about the kingdom of the king of the south? Did not attack, or attacked. But it is not written in the Bible. That is, the kingdom of the king of the north. In the end times, he will attack God's people. But when they form an alliance, the kingdom of the king of the north, allies with many countries, allies with 10 countries, then he will start to attack God's people. But why, while they fight between the south and the north, fighting back and forth, why did he not persecute Brother Heber, nor persecute the brothers and sisters? Because at that time, spiritual Israel had just quietly risen, not yet to the point, not yet realized, to let him know that he must kill God's people. Not yet to that point, at that time, but after 10 years of development, spiritual Israel will become among all nations a great nation, with a population reaching every place of all mankind. All countries, regions, villages, and towns will have children of spiritual Israel at that time, starting from now, in about 10 years. Those who believe in the gospel, those who become spiritual Israel, that is becoming those who are God's people. To what extent will they multiply? So many that in every village and town there will be our brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, do you believe? This prophecy is what God put inside Brother Heber. In the book of the prophet Daniel, chapter 2, prophesied a king named King Nebuchadnezzar. He had a dream. He dreamed of a huge tall statue reaching the sky. This statue, it was a carved statue. This statue was in the image of a man. It was the image of a man. And so, the head of this statue was of gold. The head of this statue was of gold. Its chest was of silver. Its belly was of bronze. Its legs were of iron. Its feet were partly iron and partly clay. And in the dream, this king was thinking about this dream. He was thinking and saying, this huge statue, what does it mean? Suddenly, a stone from heaven struck the feet and toes, where it was partly iron and partly clay. And so, after the stone struck it, this huge statue turned to dust and ceased to exist. This king had such a dream. This king was at that time the king of the Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar. Then the prophet, Daniel, told the meaning of the interpretation of this dream to the king. The meaning of the interpretation of this dream was that the head of this huge statue was the Babylonian Empire. Afterwards, the Babylonian Empire, after it ended and fell, there would appear what is called the Persian Empire. That is the bronze part. That is the silver part, which is the chest part. And then, as for the belly part, it was the power of the Persian Empire. When it was about to fall, there appeared a kingdom called the Greek Empire. After the Greek Empire ended, another appeared, called the Russian Empire. Then later, coming to the part of iron and clay, which is the feet and toes, when it is partly iron and partly clay, the angel, the prophet Daniel said this to King Nebuchadnezzar. As for the meaning of partly iron and partly clay, in the future, Russia will divide. At that time, he did not say it was Russia. Brother Heber interpreted it as Russia, meaning that, as for partly iron and partly clay, it means, in the future, Russia will divide, dividing into a kingdom of partly iron and partly clay. Iron is Russia in the north. Clay is the 10 allied nations, which are the 10 horns of the 10-horned beast. Iron is the beast. That is to say, Russia will ally with 10 nations, just as iron and clay. Iron and clay. They, although mixed together, cannot bond together. Iron and clay cannot bond tightly together. Therefore, after Russia splits and allies again, its strength will not be as strong as Putin's, not like Putin's, the kind during his period of ruling and holding power. That kind of strength anymore. When Putin was in power, he awed all directions. But in the future, when Russia splits and is about to form an alliance, it will not be as strong as iron like before, but will become partly iron and partly clay. A partly strong and partly weak kingdom. But when Russia splits and allies again, the alliance will have 10 kings, with the president of northern Russia. With the president of northern Russia, ruling and holding power together. The 10 kings and northern Russias. That wicked man, when they rule and hold power. When the kings rule and hold power together. God in heaven will in heaven set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed. This kingdom will not be left to all the nations and peoples of the earth, but only to God's people. So when will it be that Jehovah God will set up a kingdom in heaven? Setting up a kingdom is setting up a regime. Setting up a regime that will never perish. And then give this regime to his people. It will be during the alliance of the kings, which is Russia, which is allying after splitting. As for their alliance, the split will last for almost 10 years, about 9 to 10 years. The duration of the alliance will be 7 years, then of their alliance, within the 7 years, when it reaches 3.5 years, allying for 7 years. But they do not know. This covenant is only for 7 years, but God has decreed their alliance to last only 7 years. But when this covenant has passed only 3.5 years, when 3.5 years have passed, well, their God, which is the 10-horned beast. The 10-horned beast refers to the 10 kings, and this person who is the wicked man, allying together with the leader of northern Russia. Then, during this alliance, when the alliance is halfway through, which is at 3.5 years, God will cause in heaven a war to break out. It does not break out on earth, but a war breaks out in heaven. This war is the Archangel and Michael. Archangel Michael and his angels, fighting together against the devil Satan. The Archangel attacks. Archangel Michael attacks the devil Satan, and the devil Satan also attacks Archangel Michael, fighting back and forth. And so, the Archangel's angels and Satan's angels also war against each other. There is this severe war. During this war, God gives victory to Archangel Michael. So the devil and the devils, and the devil's angels, were cast down to the earth together. Because of this, the devil and his angels were cast down to the earth. Therefore, Satan in heaven no longer has authority. With Satan having no authority in heaven, then the kingdom of the 10-horned beast, its national strength becomes even weaker. Now the strength of the 10-horned beast lies in the devil Satan being in heaven, sitting on Satan's throne, sitting in the heaven of Great Babylon, within the kingdom of Satan in Great Babylon, sitting on the throne to rule the earth. But when this kingdom, the kingdom of partly iron and partly clay, which is the kingdom of the 10-horned beast, allies, covenant, reaches the 3.5 years, God makes Satan in heaven lose his authority. While Satan was originally Satan, sitting in the empire of Great Babylon, in the heavenly kingdom, sitting on Satan's throne, ruling the earth, but at this time Satan was cast down. Then God established a kingdom in heaven, and this kingdom no longer belongs to Satan, but is given to the child in the book of Revelation. This child becomes the offspring of the woman. So at this time, God establishes in heaven a kingdom that will never be destroyed. This kingdom does not belong to any kingdom of this world, but belongs only to the children of spiritual Israel. Therefore, this kingdom will endure forever, and it will destroy all nations and peoples, which is when they, the kingdom of the 10-horned beast, have been allied for 3.5 years. Then, the child in Revelation, resurrected from the dead, many people, resurrected from the dead. Then, Brother Heber, still on earth, obtained political power. May glory be to the Father and the Lord.